Hello guys and welcome back to the YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing well, bro. Tomorrow is the biggest club fixture in world football, El Clásico in the Spanish Super Cup final. So what better way than to do an El Clásico combined 11 based on this season. But before we get into that, I just want to thank you guys for all the love and support that you have been showing me. So let's go for the like goal of 150 once again. You guys were so close in the last video, so let's make sure to get in this video. So right now, if you guys just click on the like button, it's free. Also, comment your thoughts on the combined 11. Let me know any changes that you would make. Make sure to subscribe us so we're nearly on 2.6k subs. And also hit the notification bell so every time I do post, you guys will be the first to be notified. But without further ado, let's get right into the El Clásico combined 11. And before we do that, I just want to mention, this is only going to be players that will be fit for tomorrow's game. And it's based on their performances this season. So not all time, we're not talking about what they've done in their careers 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. It's based on what they've done this season. So hopefully that does not cause any controversies. So starting off with the goalkeeper. Of course, we've got two arguably the best goalkeepers in the world, Joan Garcia and Thibaut Courtois. Now, starting off with Joan Garcia, bro, he's completely changed the life of every single Barcelona fan, man. The way he's come in as the starting goalkeeper and he just made it his own. 7 clean sheets in La Liga in 13 games with only 9 goals conceded. When was the last time we heard a Barcelona goalkeeper doing that? There's a stat of he's gone 5 games in a row. He's had a clean sheet for Barcelona. Last season, it felt with Szczesny in goal, with all due respect to him, I love him. But it felt like we were conceding a goal literally every other game. But John Garcia has come in and has made crucial saves for us. There was the game versus Espanyol, the game against Rayo Vallecano early on the season. Unfortunately, he had a little injury in between the two performances, but still, he came back and he's not looked back ever since. And then as for Thibaut Courtois, of course, he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. He's been doing it for a longer time. But as you guys can see, he's conceded 17 goals this season. And it's not entirely his fault. But I'm just saying, in terms of an all-round goalkeeper, there is no one in the world, in my opinion, better than Joan Garcia. He has everything you want in a goalkeeper and need. Distribution, shot stopping, sweeping, you name it. And that's why I said he's completely revolutionized Barcelona's defense, especially when we play in a highlight. We need a goalkeeper to be at his best, and that's everything he's been doing week in, week out. So the first player on the team sheet is going to be Joan Garcia right there. That's fine, yeah? Now, starting off with the back four, of course, let's go with the right back, yeah? We have 2 players, Jules Koundé and Fede Valverde. Of course, Fede Valverde is not an out-and-out right back. He is supposedly a midfielder, but in my opinion, his best position is when he plays as a right back. And as for Jules Koundé, yeah, last season we all know he had his moments. He scored the goal in the El Clásico Copa del Rey final, which ultimately won Barcelona against Real Madrid. But this season he just hasn't hit the same levels. Of course, he's had a good few performances here and there. His game against Newcastle away at St. James's, but he was absolutely incredible. But he's been very inconsistent. There's something wrong with Jules Koundé. I don't know what it is this season. So in my opinion, I think Fede Valverde has to go into the lineup. He of course scored that banger off a goal against Atletico Madrid in the semi-final just like a few days ago, and even though he hasn't been playing as a right back this whole season, he's come in when Trent and when Carvajal has been injured, and he's been performing better than Koundé in my opinion. So that's why I have gone with the first Real Madrid player in the starting 11. I don't think there can be that many complaints, even though I think Jules Koundé is starting to come back into form and get better. Now on to the centre backs. I think it's pretty straightforward. Of course, the first player in the team sheet, the best out of everyone that is available right now, is Pau Bossi, one of the most underrated players in the world. 18 years old, and he's the heart of Barcelona's defense, man. The best ball-playing centre-back, in my opinion. A lot of Barcelona fans are starting to criticize him, which I do not understand why. Like, he's honestly just so good. Of course, he's made a few mistakes here and there, but that's completely understandable. He's an 18-year-old centre-back. He needs to learn. And the one big problem is the fact that he hasn't had a consistent partner next to him. Last season, of course, we all know he had Inigo Martinez next to him. They built an incredible partnership, incredible chemistry. But this season, it's been inconsistent. We've had Christensen, we've had Araujo, we've had Eric Garcia, we've had Gerard Martin, and it's just been so many different profiles that he's had to work with. He sometimes plays plays on the left centre, sometimes plays on the right. So for him, unfortunately, but he still holds his own in my opinion. So that's why he's the first centre back on the team sheet. Now next to him in the combined 11, let's first look at Real Madrid's centre backs that are available. Of course, you have Antonio Rudiger. You have Dean Huijsen, and then, of course, on the bench, they don't show it, but you have Raul Asensio. Starting off with Raul Asensio, we can, of course, just get him off the options because, in my opinion, I don't rate him as a footballer. And then the next two, Antonio Rudiger. Once again, this season, he's been injured for the majority of it. And even when he's played, he hasn't even been that good. Yes, of course, he's had a few moments here and there, but he's been looking very shaky. And that leaves us with Dean Huijsen. And in my opinion, he has been heavily underperforming this season. He came from Bournemouth, the Premier League, to Real Madrid. He was supposed to be Pau Kubasi's direct rival. He's had good performances with Spain, so his expectations were very high. But in my opinion, he hasn't hit them. Now, similarly to Kubasi, he is very young, so he's got a lot of time to get better. But he just hasn't been that good. When he got the red card against Real Sociedad, I think that completely changed his mindset. He's felt more scared when playing up against attackers, and you can see it. Attackers are just starting to dribble past him like he's not even there. So for that, I don't think he can get into the combined 11. I don't know about you guys, but especially me, I never watched Bournemouth last season, but the way that people were talking about him, I was like, okay, this guy's going to be the next big thing, but I just haven't seen that from him so far. So I know this might sound crazy, but listen, just hear me out. The second centre back alongside Pau Kubasi, it has to be Pau Kubasi's partner this season, Gerard Martin, because I know this sounds crazy, like I said, but what other centre back has been better than him this season? None of Real Madrid centre backs, none of Barcelona's centre backs, because Araujo has been injured, Christus has been injured. Like, Gerard Martin gets into it, and this isn't even a joke, but he deserves to be in this place. He's been incredible for us playing in that left centre back. He's given me glimpses of Nico Martinez, which is crazy to think we would never have thought at the beginning of the season. Gerard Martin as his centre back and in the El Clásico Combined 11, but he's here because of the performances that he's put and completely justified in my opinion. Now, to finish off the defense, left back, there's two Spanish left backs, Balde and Alvaro Carreras. Both have been great in my opinion this season, but I think there's one that is very underrated, and that has got to be Alejandro Balde. I think people don't understand how good this guy is, honestly. He's a game breaker from that position at left back. We all remember what he did, I want to say 3 years ago against Real Madrid in the Spanish, 3 years ago in the Spanish Super Cup final, when there was not that meme, but the trend on TikTok of him, like when Stega plays the ball to him, and I forgot there was a song behind, and yeah, he's just so good from the left back position. I know a lot of Barcelona and even the world fans underrate him so good. Of course, Alvaro Carreras has been good. He's been holding his own. I think he has been possibly Real Madrid's best signing from last summer. He's had his moments, but Alejandro Balde, I think he's just a game changer. And you could go either way. I might be being a bit biased here because it's Alejandro Balde, but I just rate him so much, honestly. He is way too good. Now, I don't know why the formation is 4-4-2. Of course, both teams play in a 4-3-3, so that's what we are going to change it to right here. So that's our back five. You guys, let me know in the comments, would you make any changes? I'm trying to be as unbiased as I possibly can be right now. Of course, like I said, you can easily change Balde for Alvaro Carreras, but I rate Alejandro Balde so highly, so that's why he gets into my combined 11. Now, starting off with the number 6, I mean, this is pretty straightforward. If you guys know me, you know how much I rate this player, Eric Garcia. I'm not trying to hear no Tchouaméni shots. I don't care. Eric Garcia has been absolutely incredible. This man can play right back, can play centre back, can play left back, and even play in the midfield, the position we are playing him in right now. Frenkie de Jong has been out injured, Pedri's been out injured, and this man has been forced to play as a midfielder, even though he's a centre back, and he's been incredible. There's not much more need to be said. If you've been watching Barcelona, if you've been watching Real Madrid, you know this is not something crazy to see. Maybe 2 to 3, 4 years ago, you might have been thinking, Eric Garcia, what the hell is he doing in El Clásico Combined 11? Similar to Gerard Martin. But from this season, if you watch ball, if you know ball, Eric Garcia gets into the combined 11 without a shadow of a doubt. Now, next to him in the midfield, once again, the best midfielder in the world. This is pretty straightforward. I think, in my opinion, there's no words that can really we say that it truly shows how good he is, man. He makes football look so easy. He is by far the best midfielder in the world. So disrespected in the Ballon d'Or last year, but we do not care about that because us Barcelona fans know how good he is. Even Real Madrid fans know he is the type of profile that the Madrid midfield needs. That's how good he is. So that's the two in the midfield. Now, the final midfielder, of course, there's one big name that is currently missing from Real Madrid. We all know Jude Bellingham. But he's not getting into my starting 11 because there is another play that we need to add right here. Fermin Lopez. I don't know why he doesn't come up. Wait, is he not on this? Okay, forget about that. Fermin Lopez has to get into the starting 11. I honestly have mentioned it in my last video when I did the match review against, what's his name? When we played against Athletic Club. This man has 16 goal contributions this season. He's like a GA magnet. I mentioned it in my last video. I saw that normally when midfielders come up from La Masia, we see the more likes of the Iniestas, the Xavis, the Busquets, the Gavis, even though Pedri's not from La Masia. The Pedri's, the ones that like to have the ball, play it out wide, control the game. But Fermin Lopez is the complete opposite of that. He will attack you till the last minute, and that's what I love about him so much. He's got an engine on him, and like I said, he's a GA magnet, and this season he's been absolutely incredible. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, he scored a hat-trick in the Champions League this season. He also scored a brace against Valencia. He got a goal and 2 assists against Athletic Club. He's been getting the GA, and his performances have been absolutely incredible. So Fermin Lopez 100% gets into this combined 11. So that's the midfield and the defense done, and now it's on to the attack, and this is where stuff gets juicy. Of course, we have to go on the left. This man has been injured for quite a while this season, but it just shows how good he has been. Just watch our most recent game and just see how important he is for us. 2 goals and 1 assist against Athletic Club. Remember the game when he came on against Chelsea? We were losing 3-0. We had a red card, but he looked like the only person on the pitch that actually wanted to win. His pressing, the way he's a role model in this team. He's basically the captain without the armband. I love him so much. His opponent in this combined 11 would be Vinicius Jr. And he's got 18, not even 18, 19 games without scoring a goal. So this isn't even a debate. Rafinha gets into this combined 11 with his eyes closed. I'm sorry, guys. You guys can admit that as well. On the right-hand side, of course, once again, it's pretty straightforward in my opinion. The best footballer in the world is Lamine Yamal. His direct opponent, rival in this situation would be Rodrigo, who started to hit full, especially after scoring his goal against Manchester City. But now, Lamine Yamal is completely on a different level in what is said to be a poor start to the season. I mean, look at the numbers. The numbers speak for themselves. Let's actually pull them up for a second right now. This is supposed to be a season where he's fallen off. He's already got 7 La Liga goals and 7 assists in 15 games. That's basically a goal contribution every single game. The levels that he has set for himself are so high that those numbers are considered poor from him. He's 18 years old and he's the best player in the world. Not much more has to be said. Like Lamine Yamal, we all know when there's a big game, he loves to turn up. And that's exactly what he's going to be doing tomorrow. Only time will tell. Hopefully it happens. And then the final position is the striker. Fortunately for Real Madrid, he is back fully fit, ready, according to reports. So, of course, we have to go with Kylian Mbappe. I think he is up there as the top goal scorer in Europe right now, alongside Harry Kane and Erling Haaland. It's one of them 3. He's been scoring goals for Real Madrid for fun this season. Of course, you could argue that in the big games, he does kind of go ghosting, like against Liverpool and stuff like that. But he has to be in the 11 because of his numbers. Let's even actually check it if they're available. Let's see his numbers. Like 18 goals and 4 assists in 18 starts, like 18 games, like 22 goal contributions in 18 matches. As a Barcelona fan, you have to admit that is crazy, absurd numbers. That's not even taking consideration his Champions League goals. I think he is the top goal scorer in the Champions League with 9 goals. Correct me if I'm wrong once again. So I don't know. I think that, in my opinion, is the best combined 11. I know people are going to say, oh, there's so many Barcelona players. But I have to, like, who else realistically is getting into the starting 11? Jude Bellingham, I know he's got the name, he's got the PR, but I don't see him this season. Of course, he was injured. He returning back with a shoulder injury, so he doesn't get in. Of course, I mentioned that Alvaro Carreras with Bolde. 50-50, but in my opinion, I rate Balde so highly. Centre-backs, Huijsen, Asensio, Rudiger, they haven't been good whatsoever this season. So it has to be Gerard Martin. Midfield, Madrid's midfield, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, who else is there? Yeah. Ardagula, I mean, you could put a case for Ardagula, but I don't think he gets into the 11. But that's it. That's my 11 right there. You guys let me know in the comments what your thoughts on this 11. What changes would you make? Because I want to hear your guys, especially if you're a Barcelona fan. Even as a Real Madrid fan, I want to see what changes you would make. But nonetheless, this is the combined 11. I honestly cannot wait for tomorrow. And like I said in the beginning of the video, guys, if you guys could leave a like, we're trying to get to 150 likes. So let's absolutely smash it. Also, like I mentioned, comment down your thoughts, any changes you would make. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so every time I do post, you guys will be the first to be notified. But thanks for watching till the end of the video. El Clásico tomorrow. Honestly, I cannot wait. Peace and love.